Hello, everyone, and thank you for visiting my channel. Today, I want to talk about why it's imperative that expats get a small house or Nipa Hut with their Filipino partner rather than building a big house with them. This vlog is mainly for those who are considering buying a house with their Filipino partner rather than renting, which I think is the ultimate safety net. Stay tuned. For many expats who come to the Philippines, one of the biggest dreams that carry with them is to settle down with a Filipina and build a new life. This often includes children, marriage, and of course, the dream house. Yet this dream, if pursued recklessly, has destroyed countless expats financially and emotionally. A big, pricey house could seem like a sign of prosperity, safety, and love, but in the Philippines, particularly when relationship risk and property ownership regulations are taken into account, such a purchase can easily become a nightmare. For this reason, practicality, humility, and financial prudence are essential. When entering into property arrangements with a Filipina, expats would be better off selecting a modest, reasonably priced home or even a traditional Nipa hut than developing or purchasing a big home. This approach minimizes financial losses in case relationship ends, preserves flexibility, and respects the uncertainty of long-term living abroad. In this video, we'll discuss why going small is not just wise but essential. I will cover the legal realities of property ownership in the Philippines, the cultural nuances of relationships with Filipinas, the risk of investing too much too soon, and the practical benefits of starting modestly. Let's start with the harsh legal reality of property ownership in the Philippines for expats. One of the most important facts that expats must understand is that they cannot legally own land in the Philippines. This means that your house you built on a piece of land is technically registered under your Filipino partner's name or her family's. You can own a condominium unit, but not the land itself. This law is in place to protect Filipino citizens from being displaced in their own country, but it also leaves expat vulnerable. If the relationship with your Filipino partner ends, she remains a legal owner of the land because your name has no legal standing here. If you marry a Filipina and buy property after marriage, it may fall under the conjugal property system. This means, under certain conditions, that even if you contributed most of the money, you might have little to no control over the asset. The process becomes more complicated because divorce is illegal in the Philippines, with only rare annulments and international divorces exceptions. Many expats have invested significant amounts of money into property only to lose it when their relationships end. Many have spent $100,000 to $300,000 on large houses only to walk away empty handed when the marriage fails or the extended family becomes hostile. This reality shows why starting with a smaller, more affordable property makes sense. If things go wrong, your losses are minimal. In the event a relationship does not work out, owning a more affordable property, like a small house or Nipa hut, minimizes financial exposure. Another thing to consider is if you are a young buyer, high living costs can make saving for a down payment a significant hurdle. Some developers in the Philippines offer flexible down payments terms, though this can lead to higher attrition rates. An expat buying a house before marriage, especially a large one, can lead them to financial entanglement and potential equity loss if the relationship ends. That's because selling homes in the Philippines, especially a large one, isn't easy, and not everyone in the Philippines got that type of fund to spend. With a smaller investment, the potential for loss is contained, and the property can be more easily managed or sold. Renovated homes, which can sometimes be priced lower than new buildings, offer a faster, simpler, and often more affordable alternative, but expat buyers must conduct due diligence to avoid hidden issues that could lead to mid to long term maintenance challenges. In Filipino society, renting is frequently viewed as a waste of money because it does not create equity, despite the fact that it offers freedom. However, some may argue that renting can be more affordable year over year compared to buying, and it avoids a significant upfront investment of a down payment, closing costs, and other fees associated with purchasing a home. Despite this, the short term conveniences of renting are frequently outweighed by the long term stability and wealth building potential of owning a modestly priced home. Many relationships between expats and Filipinas involve significant age gaps, cultural gaps, and financial imbalances. While some succeed, many fail due to differences in values, family obligations, and lifestyle expectations. Like, for instance, A 25-year-old Filipina may initially love the security an older expat provides, but 5 years later, she may grow restless, seek independence, or rekindle ties with younger suitors. Family obligations are deeply rooted in Filipino culture. The thing you must be wary of as an expat is that once you marry a Filipina, you may find that the extended family members may see your house as a resource to tap into. Conflicts often arise when relatives decide to move in, borrow money, or expect financial support. This pressure can strain your relationship with your Filipina, sometimes even to its breaking point. Expats often mistake the early stages of a relationship for permanence. What they don't immediately understand is the warmth, affection, and hospitality they experienced in the first year with the Filipina and her family can fade as reality sets in and expectations rise. Many expats rush into building large homes within 1 or 2 years of meeting their Filipina, only to regret it later when they realize they married into the wrong Filipino family. On the other hand, if they invested in a smaller home or a Nipa hut, this could act as a buffer. It gives the relationship room to grow naturally without overinvestment, and give you a safer exit if the relationship goes sour. In essence, purchasing or constructing a tiny house is an insurance policy. If you spend $15 to $25,000 on a modest home or $5 to $10,000 on a Nipa hut, losing that investment hurts, but doesn't destroy your future. Compare this to spending $100,000 plus on a large home that you can never legally reclaim. A smaller investment keeps you mobile. If you decide to relocate to another part of the Philippines or even another country, you can walk away without being chained to a massive sunk cost. High utility costs, costly repairs, and security threats are all associated with large homes. In contrast, a small, simple home or Nipa hut has lower upkeep, making it easier to manage on a retirement budget or passive income, while a flashy house can make you a target for jealousy, gossip, or even crime. A modest house blends into the local community and helps avoid unnecessary attention. Many Filipinos admire humility. A Nipa hut or simple home reflects an understanding of local culture and avoids creating a rich foreigner versus poor locals divide. A modest home tests whether your Filipino partner values you for who you are or whether she is only interested in what you can provide. If she insists on a big fancy house early on, that could be a red flag, and you need to decide whether you should continue the relationship or end it. Keep in mind that if you ignore this red flag and decide to give her what she wants, then later you'll realize that was a bad idea. You will therefore have no one else to blame but yourself. That's why starting small allows you and your Filipina to grow together naturally in a relationship. If the relationship endures, you can always expand later. This creates a sense of shared accomplishment rather than entitlement. The traditional Filipino nipa hut is an elevated bamboo and thatch structure that has been used for centuries. It is inexpensive, eco friendly, and culturally authentic. A nipa hut can be built for as little as $3,000 to $8,000, depending on size and quality. Even a well made version with modern reinforcements might only cost $15,000. Now, here are some practical advantages. Nipa Hut provides natural ventilation, which helps reduce electricity bills. It also blends into rural surroundings, avoiding attention. It's easier to rebuild or relocate, and it serves as a starter home while testing a relationship. A Nipa Hut shows your willingness to embrace Filipino culture, live simply, and focus on relationships rather than materialism. What I recommend you do alternatively is live together in a rented apartment for at least 3 to 5 years before committing to any property purchase. This time allows you to assess compatibility and family dynamics. If you are choosing the route of getting a small house or Nipa hut, make sure to cap your investment at an amount you can emotionally and financially afford to lose. Think of it as renting in advance. Never put all your savings into a house in the Philippines. Keep your main nest egg abroad in secure investments. Renting for a few years also gives you the freedom to move around, explore regions, and understand the true cost of living before buying. Doing things the smart way gives you an immense sense of peace, knowing that you haven't risked your entire retirement savings on a house in the Philippines. That's because getting a smaller house reduces financial stress, making your relationship with your Filipina more about love and companionship rather than property disputes. Again, if things don't work out, you can walk away with dignity without a legal battle or risk of being in financial ruin. There are countless stories of expats investing big on homes with their Filipina. also have nothing in the end. The first one is an American in Cebu who built a $200,000 villa with his young wife, only to be kicked out after 5 years. Another case is a British retiree in Mindanao who poured his pension into a large family compound, which ended up housing 15 relatives of the Filipina while he was sidelined. I know these are bad stories, but here is one that ended on a positive note. A Canadian who built a Nipa Hut for $7,000, lived happily with his Filipino partner for 10 years, and later expanded slowly when he felt secure in the relationship. The contrast is stark. Those who go big often regret it, while those who go small retain freedom. For expats in the Philippines, especially those romantically tied to a Filipina, the choice of getting a house is not just financial, it is deeply tied to cultural, legal, and emotional realities. Going big is tempting, but it leaves you exposed to all sorts of things. It takes control out of your hands and puts it in the Filipina and her family's hands. Going small, whether a modest house or a nipa hut, gives you protection, peace of mind, and flexibility. In the Philippines, humility and simplicity often leads to happiness. By resisting the urge to build a mansion, you protect both your wallet and your heart. The rule of thumb is, if you're going to build with a Filipina, build small first. If the relationship survives the test of time, you can always build bigger later. If it doesn't, you can always walk away without losing your future. Alright, guys, that is all for today's show. If you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good day.